And thank you so much for joining us for our last and final segment. We've talked widely on the subject of the industrialization in Uganda, and with Dr. Barungi Mildred from the Uganda Development Corporation. Remember, this corporation is a government entity established in 1952 but rejuvenated in 2016 with government's efforts, of course, to revitalize different industries in Uganda. We've talked about, for example, the agro industry, the minerals industry, the infrastructure and service industry as some of the key industries that the Uganda Development Corporation has actually ventured into. And they have, of course, achieved things like Teju Juice Company, where they have 80% stake. We have the Mavale Tea Company. We do have what was the other company? I'm getting to forget. Mokona Agro Processing, and so many others. So the story, Doctor, here looks very, very interesting and successful. Looking at all these companies established, and of course, with your help, the young people definitely are getting the question now in their minds: how can I, who is working, for example, with maybe cakes, maybe someone who is working with the mangoes, they're growing mangoes, maybe someone who is in the poultry business. I don't know which business, but they are wondering how they can actually tap into the blessing of UDC. How can you help them?
Wow. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, viewers. First, I would say the opportunities for the youth via the UDC support. And the opportunities span right from being able to be part of the already existing establishments. I must say, in most of the UDC establishments, the factories, the suppliers of the raw materials, even if it was never a requirement to directly mainstream the youth, so many of the direct factory employees actually happen to be the youth. So already by having the UDC investments in place has provided an opportunity for the youth to meaningfully be engaged and participate in the operations and management of the factories. The other that I've said, most of our establishments are industries that are processing agricultural produce.
Yes.
So there is an opportunity for the youth to actually engage in commercial agriculture and supply this raw material to the industry. At least they are assured of the market. If you go into tea farming, you will not go wrong. You're not going to even hustle looking for the market. If you're in Acholi sub-region and you're into cassava growing, large-scale cassava production, you're never going to look for the market.
Now that scares me a little bit.
Don't worry about the food security. Yes, it's going to be handled.
The large scale.
Yeah. The only limitation may be the youth not having sufficient land.
Yes.
But if they have the land, if they can hire, sometimes you don't have to own the land.
Yes.
If they can hire the land and you are sure it's going to make business sense, I mean, they can go into supplying the industries. But also, most importantly, as UDC, we have plans within. I told you we have our strategic direction is guided by our plan, the 10-year plan, which we've worked. We are in year 3, so we still have a distance. In that plan, UDC intends to establish a youth fund, specifically intended to support interventions by the youth. So if the youth will come to UDC with investment ideas, they are going to be supported under this youth fund. Although even currently, without that fund, the youth can come to UDC with an investment proposal, which goes through an assessment process. We have our internal processes of evaluating the proposals to see if they make any business sense. But also because we know sometimes the youth don't even have that capacity to write a winning proposal. UDC takes an extra step to provide a service to this youth to help you build a better business sense in your proposal so that it stands a chance to be funded. So that is a service, an opportunity that the youth can tap into. Bring your good business proposals. You've had the areas where UDC is intervening. we are in agro-industries, infrastructure and services. We are into value addition, mineral value addition. So any proposal, UDC almost is in any business undertaking. So bring your proposal to UDC, we shall evaluate it, and if it meets our criteria, it will receive funding. If it doesn't, at least we shall lead you to the next institution, like UDB, for example, that can support you. But also, most importantly, again, for the youth, we are in the process of setting up what we call common user facilities. We want to, and this whole idea has been informed by the fact that when the youth, for example, have left university or the business, technical and vocational training institutions, sometimes they have the skill but they do not have the startup capital. So this common user facility that we want to set up for the youth will be facilities where the youth walk in, they use the facility and pay a small fee. For example, if it's a leather and tanning industry, UDC will set up the entire thing. You come in. If it's for tailoring, if it's for, mention any kind of business. If it is, if the youth are interested in going into furniture making, so UDC will have this facility that has all the equipment that you need to do your carpentry, your nice furniture, the finishing. All the facilities will be equipped with what you require to do your final products, such that you don't have to worry about finding money to have these equipment by yourself, because we know they are costly and they are a hindrance to people getting to do their own businesses.
So it's like you actually lend, is it renting or leasing them out for a specific period of time until my business reaches a certain point of growth, and then? No,
common user in the sense that we don't anticipate that an individual or a group of individuals will begin to own this facility. No. They will come use this facility but pay a small fee.
Oh, okay. So long as they're using.
So if they grow on their own, because their businesses have grown, they can choose to leave and begin to set up a similar facility if they so wish. Yeah. But at least you've given them a starting point. You've given them a startup capital. You've given them a facility to use, which ordinarily they wouldn't. If I'm going to run, just mention any kind of service that you wish to provide. So we hope, we are planning, we're in the process of establishing these in a number of regions, such that the youth in the different regions can use them to their benefit and be able to grow. And that fund that I told you, we shall, and I mean in this lifetime of UDC, of our 10-year strategic plan, hopefully, we shall establish the fund for the youth, where they can access again that patient capital, or even if it's going to be debt financing, it will be at very friendly terms that no commercial bank would ever give you, because it's within our mandate to support the less privileged.
Wow, interesting. And that gives me a good picture of what actually young people out there are looking for. Some of them really have just this energy and they just want to put it to use, and they are looking for that opportunity, that machine that can actually.
They can't afford it.
Yes, they can't afford it, and so they end up not doing what they want to do because of this. And I'm very grateful that you're actually doing that. Now, for the support for these other growth firms, for example, you said you have 80% stake in Soroti or Teju Juice. What are the terms? Because we still have those businesses that are at the growth stage but haven't reached their full potential. And one of the things they're also looking for is capital. What are the terms of agreement that I can have with UDC that to come into my business and we grow the business to a certain level? What should I expect?
Thank you. I'm afraid in this meeting I may not give you very specific terms. One, they vary. It's on a case-by-case basis. The terms for a lease, I did indicate, for example, we have lease facilities with some factories we procure, we install, and We give you a ready-to-run tea factory, for example, before you begin to operate.
Okay.
So the terms, the lease rent that you're going to pay, the duration over which you should pay are different, for example, from when I give a loan to Malali Tea Factory, where I have some stake, I'm a shareholder. So the terms really vary case by case
depending
basis.
on the case.
Yeah, but I should say government is a very patient entity. I want to emphasize the patient capital. If we do equity financing, for example, implying that we have shares, we bought shares in that company, UDC is not going to demand for dividends until the company is returning profits that are sufficient enough to continue running sustainably, and UDC is not intending to drain this company because, like I said, in our mission, we want to establish these sustainable investments. What is going to make them sustainable? They must be profitable. They are running on their own income. They are not depending on handouts from well-wishers to move. So until that point, UDC does not want to be overburdening to their investments.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much, Dr. Barungi, for sparing time and giving us the wonderful insights into the Uganda Development Corporation. Maybe lastly, as we of course say bye to our viewers, where they can find UDC and how they can get to access that help they need.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm glad that you hosted me. It's been a pleasure. My final words, just to emphasize that Uganda Development Corporation is here to serve Ugandans and not to compete with them. That one I want to emphasize very strongly. UDC welcomes promoters, people who have very good business ideas that are going to lead to job creation for people, that are going to promote use of local available resources, ideas that are going to promote regional balance in development, ideas that are going to lead to export promotion and are going to lead to reduction in importation of what we can actually produce on our own. We welcome those business ideas and we will evaluate them, and funds permitting, we would be glad to invest with you. It's within our mandate to invest with the private sector. We are located at Solis House on Lumumba Avenue. That's where we are found. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I was talking to Dr. Barungi Mildred, who is the Manager, Research and Development at the Uganda Development Corporation. Remember to catch me on Anthony SEBALE, that is on Twitter, and at Smart24 TV. You can also get to our YouTube live stream at Smart24 TV Live. Thank you so much for watching, and those of you who have been online, thank you so much. And more programming, of course, coming ahead. Stay tuned on Smart24 TV. As for me and my team, bye for now.